Hello and welcome to episode 35 of I Will Cast Anything. We're on Shakuras Plateau for a PvZ. The red Protoss player, spawning in the bottom left hand position, is SuperHumble, who sent me this replay. And the blue Zerg player, spawning in the bottom right hand position. Now I'm going to guess that this means that I don't have the language pack for that name. I think SuperHumble is intimidated by the fact he also doesn't have the language pack for that name. MrBarcodes. Barcodes is what I shall call this man. MrBarcodes. So yeah, SuperHumble sent me this replay. This is the second in a set of three. It's the second set of three he sent me. Now in the first three there was one replay with him playing as each race. In the second three, the first replay was him playing as Terran. This replay, he is playing Protoss, so I think we can expect the same pattern to be followed. And I have to say, I appreciate the fact that SuperHumble is a guy that mixes it up. Doesn't play random, but you know, likes to play all the different races. Get a feel for everything that Starcraft has to offer. And we're not seeing any early spawning pool aggression from Zerg at this point. We'll have to wait and see if MrBarcodes chooses to go hatch first or build a pool. Looks like that drone is probably heading off to build a hatch. Splorch, down it goes. Over at SuperHumble's base. Now we saw him in the past do some pretty crazy shit with the Protoss in this game. But he's putting down a gateway in this wall here instead of a gateway and force going down at the same time. Okay. So nothing too wild then. Curious what happened to the other probe that was over here. Perhaps it is dead. Perhaps it is merely hiding. Oh no, it's still over here, tooling around. Just got to keep an eye on these spare probes. You never can tell what's happened. That second hatch is about halfway done. And you know, methinks the SuperHumble doth protest too much. But that forge has finished for SuperHumble, and the gateway is about to finish as well. One more structure to complete the wall, and then a cannon, and then possibly another nexus. Be what I expect to see. 2 hatches before spawning pool for Zerg. So greedy build here. MrBarcodes has not scouted, but is going for 3 hatcheries anyway, because why not? That spawning pool is about a third of the way done now, so not too far from getting some lings out, and there's nothing coming from SuperHumble yet, so it's not that big a deal. The cannon is coming. I'm not sure if it was intentional to leave such a wide spot at that wall. I guess if you get a sentry out pretty sharpish, that's a nice force field spot. SuperHumble has hidden this probe over in this corner of the map. He's spotted this third hatch, so he knows his opponent's going very greedy. But I don't know if there are any opportunities for early aggression here, and we haven't seen a ton of gateways go down. So SuperHumble isn't considering anything just yet, but he is building a pylon up here on the high ground. It's very interesting because that allows him to warp in on the low ground here, but cannot be seen from down there. Very nice. Just starting to get some scouting information is MrBarcodes. We'll know the gas timing of the Protoss player, but not too much to be gleaned from that. And now we see some cannons, so it is to be some cannon play once again from SuperHumble with the Protoss. And just going to deny this third hatch, and you know, it is a greedy play, so why not punish it? And there's nothing that Zerg is going to be able to do here, getting 2 more queens out. So going to go 4 queen and speed before getting any lings. This third hatch is going to fall though. This queen is going to have to run away, as will those drones. Only 3 queens, my mistake. 3 queens for the 3 hatcheries, but shortly we'll be down to 2, and the cyber core is being constructed by Protoss. So pretty large investment, you know, 2 pylons, 2 cannons to take out this hatch, but it will be a big frustration for Zerg, certainly. MrBarcodes will have planned his early build around getting those 3 hatches up, and is now going to have to rethink broodlings chewing on the photon cannons, but popping before they do more than damage to shields. This queen is just sort of hanging around here, trying to harass this probe and stop it from doing any more damage, but won't want to go in and engage those, and in fact, it's not going to be possible for Barcodes to clean that up for a long time. Now moving in this Overlord, to see what's going on behind this. We see lots of gas being taken. Warp gate research just starting up and going straight into Robo. Two more Robos, 2 more gateways. So here come the production facilities for Protoss. Meanwhile, Zerg is going double evolution chamber, getting a macro hatch because this hatchery here has been taken out, getting a roach warren. So we'll get some good upgrades for those roaches. Going for Carapace, we'll presumably get missile attack in short order. We also see a Baneling nest, so good options for aggression as well as for taking down these cannons, and maintaining this little pad of creep up here won't do any harm at all when that base is eventually rebuilt, assuming he gets that far. 2 gateways and 2 robos. We'll see if it's straight to Colossus or if it's Immortals that will be coming for SuperHumble. Probably get, yep, looks like it is going to be double Immortals coming. So that was why so long was waited to get that Cybercore and get that Warp Gate research, because cannot warp in Immortals, so it doesn't matter. Going to get up to Lair pretty shortly. Is there still not really much unit production from either side. We did see a wave of Lings come out and another just pop for the Zerg player, but no aggression just yet. There are 2 cannons up here at this wall off, so that's good defensive position, and a probe lead for the Protoss player. Very nice. These cannons just sitting here now. I think that probe did eventually escape or get murdered. There's another one heading across. Oh, and it looks like this third will be denied. Forced to cancel at least. That was pretty bold from a SuperHumble attempting to take that there with no units out of the base. Is moving another probe around. Not much point in building any more cannons up there just yet. And a big wave of Lings and Banelings morphing in, so some aggression is going to come now from MrBarcodes. Feeling that his opponent has potentially wasted too much money on that early rush, but getting 3 sentries in here, a couple of Immortals walling off. Probe is returned without doing any mischief whatsoever, and it is melee attacks +1 coming in the upgrade tree for MrBarcodes. 3 more gates coming down for Protoss, getting up to that number that you want on 2 bases, but too many cannons, too many mortals. Are the Lings going to go in? It looks like they are, and I think they're mostly going to die. Yep. Lots and lots of deadlings there. Haven't really done any damage to speak of. That was a bit of a waste. These Banelings could be planning for an attempted bust onto one of these structures. So getting more upgrades at the moment. Carapace level 2, Baneling speed and Roach speed, but has an attack to deal with potentially in the not too distant future. 4 Immortals out already with that double robo, and getting more all the time. Getting towards completion on +1 ground weapons as well. Oh, these Banelings. These Banelings are going to run away, or are they going to take out... Oh, slight miscalculation there, gets the last one. All the Zealots are dead. The second Nexus could be denied, third Nexus, pardon me, could be denied again here. Some Stalkers are coming in to try and deal this Baneling pressure. Trying to throw down a wall here, a couple of cannons and a gate. Barcodes doesn't... Oh, does know, sorry, what's going on here. I don't know quite why it's not pushing in to deal with this. Perhaps doesn't know that the army of SuperHumble has been pulled back to base. Oh, no, waiting for some of those structures to complete. Now the Lings come in. These cannons will not get a chance to complete, and no cancels here. Oh, 1 cancel there, so some losses being incurred, and now the army has been baited in, and their Banelings waiting potentially in ambush. The Baneling speed just about to finish. There it goes. Now the Banelings are going to go around the back. Oh, this could do a lot of damage to SuperHumble's army. Here come the Banelings trying to spread out. Oh, and they all detonate on that first Stalker, so not great Baneling hits from MrBarcodes, and the third Nexus has lived. Good creep spread. Oh, but a Warpin has come in. Sorry, I was going to say good creep spread, but no third retaken. Ventral Sacs on the way, so thinking about some drop play. Is fairly contained at the moment, MrBarcode, and hasn't produced anything. Well, he does have some 20 Roaches here to defend, but it's been just Lings and Banelings up until now. Roaches will hold off those Zealots, no problem. But now SuperHumble has taken total map control, has his army in the middle of the map here, has a good warp in position here for harassment if Barcodes does choose to move out onto the map. Cleaned up those zealots just fine, and now I think Barcodes might think about going up to clean out these structures up here just so they're not going to bother him anymore. Tunneling claws and burrow, and an infestation pit on the way for MrBarcodes. Meanwhile, SuperHumble is getting this third up, building a wall with some gateways and some cannons to try and hold off any pushback, and getting blink and +2 weapons and just mainlining that immortal production. Has 7 on the field at the moment, getting a lot of stalkers out as well. They'll soon have blink. Looks like those structures were taken out by that roach army. But this very strong force from SuperHumble is going to push in here. 20 supply advantage. Force fields to keep those roaches down there and kill them off. And no infestors out yet for Barcodes. Those could turn the tide of battle when they arrive, but only mining on 3 bases at the moment compared to the on 2 bases compared to the 3 of his opponent, which is not going to be doing any favors. Ventrosax has completed researching, but no Overlord speed as of yet. There's an observer up here letting SuperHumble know what's going on, and it looks like the rest of the army is going to pull back and leave those sentries there potentially just to wall off. Tunneling claws and burrow has been researched, but with the observer here that won't really help. We do have an overseer morphing in just to check that no shenanigans are taking place, and just more and more roaches at the moment. No infestors yet for Barcodes, and completely contained here. Gonna try and push down. Oh, the good force fields separate off, and 3 or 4 roaches go down. The rest have to retreat. Not much MrBarcodes can do at the moment. Finally getting some infestors out. Might wait for +1 weapon attacks to complete and then push out, but these immortals are already on +2 weapons, although +2 armor for the roaches, so not a bad situation to be in necessarily. Starting to get mining at his third. SuperHumble still continuing to crank out 2 immortals at a time. And I think Barcodes' thoughts of drops have been abandoned. Going to get those infestors out, but it's going to be a while before they have enough energy to do much against this huge immortal Blink Stalker army. Total map control means a 4th is an easy choice for SuperHumble. Plopping down a pylon here as well just to reinforce this army straight away. Single infested Terrans come here to chase away this observer. Just to the bottom of the ramp there, but not exactly a massive victory. Pyrrhic, I think one could call it. Pathogen Glands is coming. And Layer Tech, Layers being morphed into a hive. Oh, it looks like there's been a blink up here by these stalkers. The roaches are going to have to run back. That will leave the front exposed. We could see a 2-pronged attack. Those stalkers have just run through and blinked down. 1 remains behind. That won't last terribly long. And Barcodes has to be worried right now. With Blink Stalkers, his opponent having total map control, able to warp in wave after wave of units right outside his main base. And just sort of siege mentality now. Oh, if the infestation pit goes down before Pathogen Glands research, that'd be a terrible blow, and it does go down. Oh no, Barcodes is in real trouble now. Can't produce any more infestors. Only has 3 out at the moment. Does have that hive tech finally. But the army of SuperHumble is up into his base. Just doing a ton of damage. Easily wipes out this expansion. Cleans up all the workers. And the supply advantage is out to nearly 40 now for SuperHumble. Barcodes down to 1 base. And not much mining left to be had. This is bad news for the Zerg player. 4th Nexus is up, but not even needed for SuperHumble right now. Trying to get armor level 3, you make these roaches slightly more viable in a fight is Barcodes, and rushing out as many more as he can. I think it's pretty desperate times here for the Zerg player, working with what he has. SuperHumble says, I told you I wasn't intimidated by our Barcodes. Seems he was right not to be, because SuperHumble has easily had the measure of Barcodes in this. Barcodes went for that greedy 3 hatch before pool play and was well and truly punished. Does have the Ventral Sacs, which he hasn't employed yet, but Don't know if they can really bail him out of the hole that he is in. That infestation pit has been rebuilt, but pasturing glands will have to be researched all over again. And we see void rays coming in. We saw void rays used by SuperHumble in his previous game as Protoss, and right now they could be devastating to a Zerg player that has no anti-air defenses. We'll have to rely on fungals and infested Terrans, as well as a couple of queens, to make this defense work, but that is a big ask, especially with all these void rays coming across. 3 starports have been built by SuperHumble. Banelings are morphing in. It might be time for a desperation push from MrBarcodes. He's not going to be allowed to get out of his base. Been stuck in his base for so long now. And concerned, I think, Barcodes, that the push is coming. SuperHumble is edging towards maxed out here. And easing his way up into the former natural position. Meanwhile, the Void Rays are in. The Queens are not going to do much against so many Void Rays. There goes the Fungal, though. Good Fungal. 1 Void Ray goes down. Some infested Terrans rain. I think these Void Rays are going to be cleaned up. Oh, some might escape here. Doing plenty of damage, killing lots of queens. Meanwhile, the Immortal Stalker army has pushed up, done a lot of damage. The Borrowed Roaches are forced to retreat. Overseers being targeted down. The Void Rays come back in at the top. And this attack from 2 sides, as turtled up as Barcodes is, I don't know what can really be done. SuperHumble able to pick and choose his engagements with impunity, thanks to those force fields. I think all those Void Rays did get cleaned up in the end. Yes, they did. But no, just 1 tiny patch of minerals left. 120 minerals left to be mined. Barcodes, so it's not like any more army can really be built. Meanwhile, SuperHumble has bases coming out of his ears. He's warping in more Blink Stalkers. Getting a robotics bay, finally. Maybe go up to Colossus, but I'm not sure it's even necessary. I think this game has been over for a while in terms of whether or not, in terms of determining the victor. But the killing blow is yet to be dealt. I'm just trotting around up at the edges here. Not pushing in just yet. And now, just... oh, there. Explosion of drones as the mineral patch finishes. These are now pretty much useless. Might as well be used as a tank force and joined into the main army to try and soak up some damage from all these Immortals. All these Blink Stalkers. More gateways being thrown down by SuperHumble just for the hell of it. It's not like they even needed 9 gateways coming down. Just trying to spend through some of that cash, one expects. What are you planning, MrBarcodes? SuperHumble doesn't want to end this, I think. Maybe he was expecting more from his fancily named opponent. Here comes the pickup. We've been waiting for those Ventral Sacks to be used. And this base is basically useless now. There are no resources here. Humatized Carapace is coming to try and get a bit of kick for those Overlords. But it's going to take a good long while to research, and it looks like the option the Barcodes is going to go for here is to try and drop into the main of his opponent and base race him. But there's not much base to be raced here for Barcodes with nothing to defend it. His army will chew through it pretty quickly, so it's a desperation move. I'm not sure how effective it will be. Time will tell. Humatized Carapace is about to kick in. All these Overlords are about to break into a sprint, running across here. Some diversionary Overlords to delay the army of SuperHumble there, and here comes the drop. Oh, SuperHumble spotted it now and immediately pushes in. Sees Overlords full of units coming. He knows the base race is on, and I'm pretty sure it's a base race that SuperHumble can do, but no! He's pulling back. Well, I think that's a mistake by SuperHumble. Oh no, there we go. Splits his forces, sends some Blink Stalkers in here. Deal with those queens, no problem. There are a lot of roaches in here, and a lot of drones as well, and the roaches have +2 attack, so they're going to be doing plenty of damage, chewing through these gates. Lots and lots of damage being done here. but doesn't particularly matter. The supply advantage is 100 for SuperHumble, and the army is returning home. These Blinkstalkers are starting to go to town on the constructors. It'll take a while for them to be destroyed. All the things in the main base have been ruined except for a couple of pylons. And it looks like the SuperHumble now going to siege his opponent inside his own main base. No, his opponent is going to push down here. It's quite a narrow funnel to try and exit this main from. The SuperHumble constructed earlier to defend against attacks from outside. He's now defending against attacks from inside, but we have all these overlords. They all have ventral sacks. They all have pneumatized carapace. They've picked up again, and the base is still standing. And having done all that damage, Barcodes is going to try and return home. Oh, but the Blinkstalkers nearly catch him out. Deary me. I'm impressed that MrBarcodes was able to come over here and wipe out the main base of his opponent. It was a bold move, but it worked out. And still has a hive left sitting here. Ton of larvae, but no money. Plenty of gas. For all good. That will do him. No minerals. Now the Stalkers come in to finish the job here. Blink up. Not much left on this hive. Looks like they're just on attack move here. They're killing all the larvae. It's no good. And the army is coming back. This small Blinkstalker force is about to be ambushed here. Blinks away once. That won't be enough. There goes the hive. The broodlings come in. Here comes the drop. Oh no, tons of roaches all of a sudden. And all of these immortals are having to plod their way back across the map all over again. Good concaves here. It's impressive how much Barcodes is doing with so little there, but only 3 structures left. And here come all the immortals. A lot of stalkers are falling here, but there's way too many immortals here. +3 weapons and +2 armor. These roaches are not going to be able to do anything, and Barcodes has left the game.